Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 261. Ford EV struggles are highlighted in their 2024 earnings report, and it shows a pretty grim outlook for 2025 as well. And Volkswagen is out once again, admitting they can't keep up and are falling behind. And Micheal Dunne explains the Tariff War that is going on and why it has made China into what it is today. And Tesla sees some significant drop in sales in Europe, but it seems like people are a bit quick to jump to conclusions. And while Tesla is doubling down on unsupervised full self-driving, we are seeing the others crumble. And we have another bankruptcy incoming, and Tesla is leading in vehicle longevity and mileage, a new study finds. And Tesla is getting ready for the Optimus robot production. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
Ford's EV struggle are highlighted in their 2024 earnings report and also shows a pretty grim future outlook for 2025. So Ford shared their earnings deck this week, and we can see that the EV business Ford Model E is still bleeding badly. Ford lost $5.1 billion in 2024 selling their EVs, so had a negative margin of 132%. And they expect to lose about $5 to $5.5 billion again this year. So Ford lost about $48,500 on every EV they sold in 2024, and they sold 105,000 units. So it must be frustrating that EVs are the future, and we see Tesla is earning money on selling that product, and Tesla, even including all Ford's ICE business, has a stronger and healthier business. Ford had a net income of $5.9 billion in 2024, and Tesla had $7.1 billion. Ford has about $28 billion in cash, and Tesla has $36 billion in cash, and Tesla also has a much better cash flow. Even Ford's revenue, including everything, was only $101 billion. But Tesla, the much smaller car company, had $98 billion in revenue, only $3 billion less. I think 2024 was the last year Ford had more revenue than Tesla does. Ford will simply just become a smaller business than Tesla in 2025 on all metrics, except wholesale numbers, of course, as Ford still sells more models, but Ford also needs to produce about 2.5 times more vehicles to have the same amount of revenue as Tesla. And Tesla is doing all of that on a business that Ford is losing billions of dollars on. So that should put into perspective how far behind Ford really is. As Ford did sell 4.5 million vehicles in 2024, but Tesla still earned more money. And Tesla only sold 1.8 million cars. All EVs, of course. If Ford should sell 1.8 million EVs with the losses they are seeing right now per EV, they would have lost $218 billion. Just to put in perspective just how bad Ford's EV business is doing and how good Tesla's overall business is actually doing. Ford might sell 2.5 times more vehicles, but Tesla still sits with a better balance sheet. And it does not look like it will be much better in 2025 for Ford, as we can see Ford is not off to a promising start of the year with their EV business, as they only sold 5,666 EVs in January. That might be up 21% for Ford, but this is still very low numbers. And the scary thing for Ford must be that Ford is only about 1% BEVs. They still have 99% of the way to go, and they are already bleeding badly and struggling. Because sure, Ford might have sold their cars to their dealers, but Ford has the highest level of 2024 model year inventory left on dealer lots of any brand. GM has the most as a group, but Ford leads as a brand. It isn't even close according to data from S&P Global Mobility. Ford had over 400,000 2024 model year vehicles sitting on dealer lots at the beginning of November last year, while the next closest brand came in at less than half of that total. So dealers will have to get these cars off the lot to make room for the 2025 models. So they have to make huge discount, and Ford will have to help with that, or else they can't sell the 2025 cars to the dealers. So they will have to pay their dealers to give them discount on their cars to their customers, just as we have seen with Stellantis, making even their ICE business a money-losing business as well. And again, compare Ford to Tesla, which only have 13 days of inventory sitting at their Tesla delivery centers. Ford has about 90 days of inventory. Ford looks to be in big trouble here heading into 2025. But one thing Ford did talk about at the earnings call was that they were open to licensing deals for Level 4 autonomies, as Randy Kirkshad on X. Jim Farley said, "I think you are going to find, just like our move with Argo, the Volkswagen joint venture that cancelled again, will be thoughtful and practical. Ford's management know the full self-driving systems, or Tesla's full self-driving system. They know Waymo's system. I think we'll make a good decision. But I think, Adam, we are a lot closer to the partnering decision at Ford." So that sounds very interesting, and we could potentially see Ford being one of the first to jump on the licensing deal with Tesla, just like Ford was the first to jump on the North American charging standard, like we have talked about before. Volkswagen is once again out admitting they can't keep up and are falling behind, but don't worry, they got some new plans. Volkswagen admits it has fallen behind competitors, plan to roll out 9 new car models by 2027, including the ID.1 and ID.2 EVs. They sadly think that more models is the solution, but they should focus on making their EVs better instead, and not delay their Trinity platform, but work with a sense of urgency to get that new, better platform onto the market, because their survival might depend on it. And as they wrote in this article, the rise of electric cars and the Chinese competition caught Volkswagen off guard, and the ID lineup of EVs has not generated a lukewarm response. Volkswagen concedes it needs to catch up and is outlining a plan to get back in shape in the following years. It's called AAA: Accelerate, Attack, and Achieve. They should probably not have fired the guy that actually tried to do that for Volkswagen with their EVs, Herbert Diess. But now they are back with new plans on how to catch up with someone like Tesla, like they also tried back in 2020 and 2021 under Herbert Diess, for example with the Mission T. Let's see if their new plan with a new name can actually get Volkswagen to execute on their EVs this time around. Software issues had plagued the launch of several Volkswagen products in recent years. Nevertheless, the company wants to put those bad days behind it by becoming the technology-leading brand in the volume segment by the end of this decade. Yeah, that is probably not going to happen. If they think they have 5 years to figure all of this out, they are already doomed. But let's see if all of this will make any difference for Volkswagen, or if they will just be more noise from legacy automakers like GM's breakout year in 2023 that never happened, or their year of execution in 2024 that never happened. But that is not the only trouble there is for Volkswagen to fix, because their Scout brand warns Volkswagen dealers fighting direct sales that it is not playing around. The EV brand says it won't tolerate threats and imitation as Volkswagen dealers try to block its plan to sell trucks directly to consumers. Oh yes, the dealers keep fighting against the whole new business model that Tesla started that will put them out of business eventually. But the brand don't like the dealers. Customers don't like to go to dealers, so yeah, enjoy the little time you have left, guys. And Micheal Dunne has some very interesting thoughts on the whole tariff war that is happening at the moment and why Trump might be doing it. Like Micheal Dunne wrote in his article, Trump tariffs steal from the Chinese playbook to boost car market in America. President Donald Trump is taking a page directly from China's own trade playbook. The formula is simple and straightforward. You want to have access to this big, beautiful market, you need to pay. So you can either chew broken glass, dealing with our tariffs, or you can be smart and invest in manufacturing here inside our country. It is exactly this kind of direct ultimatum that has worked spectacularly well for China, now an automotive manufacturing colossus. China today builds more cars than any other country, 3 times more than America. China manufactures more electric vehicles and batteries than all other countries combined. And this China juggernaut is no longer staying home. China shipped 6 million vehicles to more than 100 countries last year, blowing past perennial leaders Germany and Japan. We've never seen competition like this before, Ford CEO Jim Farley recently told his leadership team at the headquarters. How did China's automotive industry go from an automotive pipsqueak to a powerhouse feared by executives in Detroit, Stuttgart, and Tokyo? Tariffs, it turns out, plays a huge role. Not the only role, but a big one. When Micheal first arrived in China in 1986, China had neither the know-how nor the capital to build their own cars. The country had no option but to import mostly used cars from Japan, Germany, and the US. In the early 1990s, China made the dramatic decision to place 100% tariffs on all cars imported and to ban used car imports. That shut the door on everything built overseas. Prohibitive tariffs forced global automakers to manufacture cars inside China if they wanted to sell to Chinese buyers. That meant bringing capital and technology, and it meant training, ultimately, millions of Chinese managers and workers. Chinese leaders also demanded that global automakers formed a joint venture with Chinese partner. The Chinese side had to own no less than 50% of the venture, solidified Chinese control over the ambitious industrial master plan. Of course, America, Japanese, and the European automakers did not like the new rules, but they still wanted access to Chinese market. They began pumping tens of billions of dollars of investments into the new plants and equipments. The German, the France, and the Americans were the first to arrive. At its peak, GM and its Chinese partner had built 27 full-scale manufacturing plants in China. Eventually, every major automaker in the world invested in China to sell cars in China. That was the price of admission. Today, less than 3% of cars sold in China are imported. In the US, more than 40%. President Trump believes tariffs will lead to an industrial renaissance in America. China is proof of concept that tariffs can be effective. They can force companies to invest. They can add jobs, lots of them, and they can create valuable automotive and technology clusters. Tariffs are no guarantee of success, but coupled with the incentive to invest and compete inside America, they can be powerful. China, home to the most highly protected major car market in the world, is now complaining about America becoming a little less wide open. That's hypocritical. And President Trump knows it. Very nice explanation from Micheal here on the whole tariff war that is going on right now. I will leave a link to the entire article if you want to check it out. And we are seeing people freak out about Elon's politic and think Tesla's drop in sales in Europe in only January is the result of only that. Well, I think they might have a little surprise coming for them. I know many are talking about how much Tesla is down in January in 2025 compared to last year here in Europe. But it seems like people forget that Tesla is in the middle of their first and ever and very big shift on their Model Y in the Berlin factory, the world's best-selling car. The car that stands for the majority of Tesla sales is right now being shut down, and the new version is not yet available for deliveries, so they don't get any sales. So what do you think will happen to the demand of the old version? Yes, a huge Osborne effect. And the sales they normally see with the Model Y here in January are not there because there is no new car to get. This will have a much greater effect on Tesla sales here in Europe than the few people that now hates Tesla and Elon Musk, because that is nothing new. How is this so hard to understand? So there are so many things at play here. So to give the whole reason to why Tesla is down in Europe to only Elon's politics seems ridiculous to me. So to just start screaming about this is all because of Elon's politics is just right out unintelligent. Or people are just too attached emotionally to their own political views that might differ from Elon's. So they start screaming. So sure, there might be some people that don't want to buy a Tesla anymore because their views on Elon. But I have been doing this for 6 years. I have seen comments like this through every 6 years, just on different things about Elon, what he said or what he has done, and they will never buy a Tesla. So I don't think Elon's politics in the US is going to have such a huge effect here in Europe as people would like you to think. I think we will see Tesla sales take up nicely again when the new refreshed Model Y starts hitting the streets, because it has not done that yet. But I can of course be wrong, but as always, time will tell, and I will as always be right here keeping an eye on it. But we did see that in 2024, where Elon was also political and crazy, the Tesla Model Y was the #1 best-selling BEV in Europe in 2024 by far. Again, despite registrations dropping 17% according to new data from Giotto Dynamics. Well, Tesla still sold more than 3 times as many Model Ys in Europe than Volkswagen's best-selling models. So Tesla could be down 100% and still be leading the race in Europe. And the Model Y was the 4th most registered car model overall in Europe in 2024, so still doing better than most. So let's see how all of this looks by the end of the year, but I have a feeling it will look very nicely, because I have seen the new refreshed Model Y and it is good. And people that say that Elon politics would hurt Tesla will probably look as stupid as the people that said Elon buying Twitter would also hurt Tesla sales and Elon did not know anything about running a media platform. Well, it didn't hurt Tesla sales, and Elon did know how to run a media platform. As Robert also shared on X, Elon not only nearly doubled Twitter's EBITDA, he grew margins from 13 to 46%. This is one of the craziest things I has ever seen in business. What a legend. Yep, and now we will see if Elon and Doge can do the same thing for the US economy. So I don't think Elon's politics is going to hurt Tesla more than the many other things through the years that Elon has said the product always wins. People want the best value for their money. They are still buying Chinese cars, right? Even though they are built in the communist-ruled country, right? They exported the most amount of cars last year by far. People just want the best product for the best price. And Tesla has some of the most value for money you will find on the market, especially with the new refreshed Model 3 and refreshed Model Y. So like so much else we have experienced for the last 6 years, it is all just noise. It will pass just like all the other stuff, and innovation will continue to thrive. But it is of course not easy to innovate. But as Tesla is doubling down on their unsupervised full self-driving and deploying it in their factories, we are seeing the others crumble. As we could read this week, autonomous vehicle company Cruise is laying off 50% of its workforce as it prepares to shut down operation. But Elon promised full self-driving cars. Bad Elon. Well, Mary told investors just 2 years ago Cruise would be making $50 billion in revenue every year from 2030 and onwards. Tesla is still on track to deliver the unsupervised full self-driving this year, but Mary has completely given up. I know which one I think is the worst. And Volvo said they would have full self-driving cars by 2017 with their Drive Me project, delayed later until 2021 but closed down in 2019. And Ford promised in 2016 driverless cars without steering wheel and pedals in 2021, and not just a little pilot program either, but it will have high volume, fully autonomous vehicles for ride sharing available, not just to luxury customers, but to everyone. Funny how no one is hating on all these legacy automakers that have all basically promised full self-driving cars, and some of them long before Tesla has, but have all given up. At least Tesla is getting close. And Tesla did double down in the earnings call on their unsupervised full self-driving is coming by June 2025. And as we had talked about before, Tesla can see about 6 months out in the future. So for Tesla to have less than 6 months timeline for when they will have solved it is very, very bullish. And they of course have also just released unsupervised for their cars at the Fremont factory and now also at the Texas factory. And sure, haters and clowns like Dan or Dunne trying to say so many other companies have been doing this for years, but not with the same technology as Tesla has, Dan. And Dan even got community noted, as he can't really lie anymore on the X platform, so it's getting harder for Dan O'Clown to spread misinformation about Tesla's full self-driving software. But he is of course getting desperate that Tesla is getting really close, within months, from releasing unsupervised full self-driving software to the roads in the US, destroying Dan's business. As the community noted, I work at BMW. The cars are controlled externally and not driving themselves. As BMW state, unlike autonomous driving in road traffic, the vehicles do not guide themselves using their built-in sensors, but instead use sensors along the factory routes. So, nice try, Dan, but this is not the same tech. Just as you'd like to compare Waymo to Tesla, but again, not the same tech. Tesla is in a league of its own on this one. And if you want to know why Tesla is not putting a charging port on the Cybercab and why that was a genius move from Tesla, check out my video on that from this week, link down below. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Tesla leads in vehicle longevity and mileage, study finds. Tesla's electric vehicles are expected to cover an average of 204,000 miles over their lifetime and have an estimated lifespan of 20.3 years, surpassing all other brands regardless of powertrain, as noted in the report from Alt Elbil. This significantly exceeds the average for electric vehicles, which stood at 124,000 miles. The best performing electric car manufacturer is Tesla, while Skoda and Audi leased diesel and gasoline-powered cars respectively. This contributes to a detailed understanding of reliability of powertrain, including the new technology, the research noted. Yes, no one is really close to Tesla's numbers here. 204,000 miles. Look at Mercedes EVs, they have less than half of that mileage during their lifetime. So if you care about your car's reliability and longevity, get a Tesla. It's better than anything else on the market. Poor build quality, my ass. And ARK Invest, the future is autonomous electric vehicles. Despite the recent slowdown in growth of electric vehicles, the trend is clear. The internal combustion engine is on its way out. Amen to that. And Waymo's robotaxi showed off that LiDAR doesn't see everything. It needs to learn what a pothole is. Probably just need more LiDAR. And Starlink hits iPhones. Text from anywhere. iOS 13.3 changed the game. Starlink satellite text is now live for T-Mobile beta testers, keeping connections alive no matter where you are. No tower, no service, no problem. Call and data are next. This is just the beginning of a whole new era in communication. The future of messaging is officially untethered. And speaking of Starlink, Sawyer shared this post on X. The Pentagon said that SpaceX has saved the government over $40 billion. One SLS launch cost billions. One SpaceX launch cost less than 75 millions. Yes, countries and companies can try to boycott Starlink all they want because of Trump's tariffs or Elon's politics, but that will only make them uncompetitive. The best and most affordable technology will always win. And SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell on SpaceX $22 billion in government contract, we earned that. We bid it. We were the lowest priced, best bidder, we won and we executed. It's not a bad thing to serve the US government with great capabilities and products. The people complaining that SpaceX government contracts were wasteful really have no clue what they are talking about. Exactly. And we can see that Tesla is not joking when it comes to getting ready to ramp up robots production. As we can see, 68 jobs opening in 5 locations, and many of them in manufacturing. So Tesla is getting ready for volume production of the Optimus robot. This is going to be wild. And don't forget that the production line for the Cybercab is also being prepared as we speak, as Tesla also wrote in their earnings call report. Preparing is underway for Cybercab line at Gigafactory, Texas, with volume production planned for 2026. And I think Tesla is quite far along on this whole unbox production method, as Elon said to Sandy Munro back in December 2023 that he was overlooking the production line on a weekly basis. So I think this will take most by surprise by the end of this year, as Tesla can show Cybercabs coming off the production line and will be ready for volume production in 2026. And Marcus Brownlee will probably have to shave his head. And Tesla's Megapack factories in China is going to start on the 11th of February. So that factory should put another $8 to $10 billion to Tesla's revenue when fully ramped. Not bad. For comparison, Rivian's total revenue trailing 12 months as of January 2025 is about $4.55 billion. So that single factory making Megapacks will generate about twice the amount of revenue than Rivian does as a company. And Tesla's Megapack business is about a 30% margin business. Rivian is still losing money. Yeah, comparing Rivian with Tesla as a company makes no sense. Tesla is so much more than just a car company. And apparently, Toyota copies the Tesla's 100% ownership model in China, plans to build Lexus for China and export. The new plant will be fully owned by Toyota, followed in the footsteps of Tesla's Shanghai factory. It will be able to produce 100,000 units in a year initially, so not following Tesla on that front. The Tesla Shanghai factory can produce almost an order of magnitude more EVs than Toyota's. And we finally have some positive news from Sweden and common sense returning to the workspace, as Niklas wrote. ABB moves forward to accept Tesla as a company car again. ABB isn't stupid. They've done their due diligence and found that our conclusion was that Tesla employment conditions are sufficiently good, meaning they are comparable to or better than the relevant collective agreement. So they see no reason to boycott Tesla when purchasing new company cars for their employees. Well, I could have told you that 1.5 years ago when the strike in Sweden began, but better late than never. And the hate against Tesla is intensifying as predicted, as now we see politicians say, "This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaire I has ever met, seen, or witnessed." So the dude that is making this happen, that no one else in the world even knows how to do yet, yeah, that tells you all you need to know about AOC's level of intelligence. You can hate Elon all you want, but call him unintelligent will only make you look very detached from reality. And Brad from Figure AI wrote on X this week, "Today I made a decision to leave our collaboration agreement with OpenAI. Figure made a major breakthrough on full end-to-end robot AI built entirely in-house. We expect to show you in the next 30 days something no one has ever seen on a humanoid." Now that sounds very interesting, can't wait to see what that is, and also shows that making large language model is not that difficult, as you have access to the whole internet. The difficult thing is real-world AI, and that is where Tesla has the lead over everyone else in the industry. An AI driver shared this little video and wrote, "Full self-driving 13.2.6 handles toll booth, stopping at the window, even pulling closer so I can hand him my ticket. What's the steering wheel? Pretty unbelievable stuff." Nice. And if you have a hard time understanding why legacy automakers are struggling with EVs, well, check this out. This is the software Jeep is shipping in their brand new $75,000 electric vehicle, Wagoneer S.
I give it the award-winning for the worst infotainment system installed in any car, only because this is a brand new $75,000 electric vehicle, Jordan, that cannot get us... Holy smokes.
Anywhere?
Oh, there we go. The lag.
So, yeah.
Well, Andreas, you're a software guy.
Yeah, no, you don't want to hear me comment on that.
Okay, first of all, why is the keyboard here? What's going on? This looks like a mess. It's like blocking things.
Yeah.
So to me, this wins the award for the worst infotainment.
So yeah, the Uconnect 5, according to Jeep's actual website, says award-winning, and I'm just really curious who gave the award and how can I find them?
And how can we kill them?
Yeah, it's like they are stuck in the past. And we have another bankruptcy incoming. Nikola Motors, founded by Trevor Milton, is nearing a bankruptcy filing according to Wall Street Journal. Nikola produced more than 80 trucks at a net loss of nearly $200 million, according to its latest earnings report for the quarter ended in September. Yeah, no surprise here. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my new supporters of this YouTube channel. My two new YouTube members, Marty Addison and George Bezenden. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this channel. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. And since the hate for Tesla and Elon is burning nicely at the moment, don't forget all the people making that noise has been doing so for many, many years. And their hate has not aged well. Let's just take a look at one of the good old ones. Mark B. Spiegel saying back in January 2016, Faraday Future, we are going to move a lot faster than Tesla. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell to help grow this channel so I can make better and better contents for you guys. And don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheet also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.